Also, man, my stuff is stuttering on OBS at least. It might just be the camera. I hope it's not the camera. I hope it's not bugging out. It is pretty hot today, so... Hello, YouTube! What's up? My name is Lee, and today I am here to review The Watchers, which is a new film from Ishana Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, of course. And, basically, is The Watchers worth watching? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you, and I'll let you know right after this clip.
You should know, there are a few rules. Do not turn your back to the mirror. Do not open the door after dark. Do not go near the burrows. Always stay in the light. It's important to remember that we are in their territory. The Watchers allow us to live because we follow their rules.
That was a clip from The Watchers, a new film from Ishana Shyamalan, and it stars Dakota Fanning, Georgina Campbell, Olwen Fowler, I'm so sorry, and Oliver Finnegan. And it's based on a book from A.M. Shine, or a novel, sorry. This is a film that I've actually been looking forward to ever since I saw the trailer, and when I saw that it was Ishana Shyamalan directing, I got very excited as well, because I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan, and actually Ishana Shyamalan has worked with him as assistant director on a few things. She worked on a show called Servant, where she wrote a lot of episodes and everything, and like I said, I gotta say, for the first hour of this I was hooked, and you know, I think Ishana Shyamalan really shows a lot of promise as a director. This is a very confident first-time directorial feature. I'm sure her work in television, as well as assistant director on her father's films, has really given her a lot of experience. Plus, I mean, when you're M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, some of that's got to rub off, right? After that first hour hits, the last 40 minutes of this movie, because it's only an hour and 42 minutes, I got to say, the last, 42 minutes of this movie is extremely quick and rushed. And I mean, things are happening like this, bam, 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 bam. We're moving. To the point where, it started getting, there's a lot of, really out there stuff, is what I'll say about this movie, that happens in it. And, you know, there's just a certain pace that, I think this movie needed to have that would have had it, if this movie was, 30 minutes longer. If it was 2 hours and 10 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. Maybe even 2.5 hours. I don't know. I just think it would be a little bit better. And I do wonder, especially now that I saw that one of the reasons Mickey 17, that which is Bong Joon-ho's new film that was stars Robert Pattinson, one of the reasons it was delayed is because Warner Brothers wants to make it more accessible. You know, I'm like, the man won a ton of Oscars for Parasite. He's supposed to be allowed to do whatever he wants. That's how the rules work, right? For at least one film, after you win Best Picture and Best Director, you're allowed to do whatever you want, free of charge, period, whatever. You know what I mean? You just write that check, you say, here you go, we trust you, here's your thing. And, you know, Shyamalan, she's a first-time director. Even though, her father is M. Night Shyamalan, I'm sure maybe she's got some pushback. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but I was watching it and I was like, I don't really know if this is the film that she necessarily sat out to make entirely. I think it is in one way and isn't in another way. Now, that could just be pure. I think that's probably just speculation on my part. It's just after seeing the movie, it felt like there was something missing, and I really do think it's because, man, when those reveals start hitting, they're one after another. There's a lot of reveals in this movie. And a lot of stuff, and it doesn't feel like anything has enough time to really gel, you know? It just kind of keeps going. And don't get me wrong, I like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of crazy that we got a movie that's this weird in theaters right now. That's one of the reasons why I still love M. Night, and I think it's one of the reasons why I'm still excited to see anything that Ishana Shyamalan does from here on out. Because, you know, yes, this is based on a book, but this movie feels very original, you know? It's doing some stuff that, movies haven't done. This is a pretty high concept, right? And I really appreciate that. Now, I'm actually glad now that I did not read the book ahead of time, because there's a lot of surprises in this movie. A lot of surprises as to what's going on. Some of it, after a certain point, I kind of was, guessing. I'm I think this is what's going on. And some of it I was right, some of it I wasn't, you know? And I really appreciated that. You know, and there's even some stuff with Dakota Fanning's character, and she's really the character who gets the most any kind of development. All the other characters don't really get development per se. They're just kind of They have that one mode, and that's how they stay. The older woman, who I really like, by the way. She's a great actress. She was great in Mandy, and she's great in this. And she's also great in Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that Netflix did. But Olin Fjord, I think is how you say it. Olin Fjord. She is pretty much just an exposition machine in this movie. She's there to tell everybody what's going on all the time. And, you know, there's even times when she stops it. Sometimes it doesn't even feel natural. Like they're running away from something and she just kind of stops and says like, oh, here's this thing. Let me tell you guys what this is. There's reasons for that. Like it's revealed that she's this isn't a spoiler, by the way, because they tell you pretty early on, but her job was like she was to study like certain things. And so I don't want to say what the certain things are, but she studies stuff, and that's actually why she ended up there, right? But everyone else just kind of has a mode, right? Georgina Campbell has one mode, which is I'm waiting for my husband to get back, you know, and then Oliver Finnegan has one mode, which is I'm not handling any of this too well. Pretty much. He's the one where I kind of was looking around at him and I'm like, man, you're stuck here with 3 women and this has to be difficult, right? And by the way, I would feel that way if it was the other, if like Dakota Fanning was the only female character. It's just one of those things where it's like, this is an interesting it's like you have this setup where like they're isolated, they're stuck together. It's these 4 main characters, 3 women and 1 guy. You know, I feel like there could have been some more stuff that they played with, as far as that goes, right? Even if it was inversed, you know, there's some interesting stuff you could do, right? Like some interesting dynamics and stuff. Like how does this guy feel that he's the only dude? You know, I don't know. I just think that's a missed opportunity with this, and maybe the book explores it. I'm not really sure. I think the performances in this are all very good. Dakota Fanning, she's very, very subtle in this movie. You know, she doesn't really have a lot of big emotion stuff. But the thing that I was most impressed with this movie, to be honest, and one of the reasons why I ended up liking it at the end of the day, is because it is directed very well. Like I said, this is a very confident directorial debut from Ishana Shyamalan. I mean, there's all these like really cool like zoom ins to people's eyes, and there's one really interesting part where you never see Dakota Fanning's boss's face. There's actually one really interesting part where he's telling her, like, the setup for the movie for why she ends up there is because she works at a pet store, and her boss is like, hey, this bird needs to be transported to this house. You know, it'll be nice. We'll get to see the Irish countryside, right? And she ends up taking a path, and that's how she ends up getting stuck there, right? But when he's telling her this, he's behind her, and he's completely like, not only is he out of focus, but his like face is like blurry, almost to the point where he looks like a creature. You know, I thought that was really interesting, and that actually kind of plays into, you know, a lot of the ideas in this movie. I just thought, especially with like the reveals of what was going on and stuff, and when they started explaining like what the Watchers are, I just feel like there was more that they could have done. I just feel like with this movie, there's more that they could have done. Period. And I do think that the runtime has to do with it. This movie feels very rushed. It also has like 3 different endings, which I thought was crazy. I was like, you know, Return of the King has a lot of endings, but that movie's long and it kind of earns it because it's like the ending to a trilogy, right? This movie has a lot of endings and it's like an hour and 42 minutes and it's just like rushing. As a matter of fact, as far as like, it's not exactly. I don't want to scare anyone off by saying this. This is a movie that I also liked as well, to be honest, mainly because of like one character. It's like a robot dude or something. But the movie Mortal Engines, it kind of reminds me of that. Where like that movie, I really like it from like a visual standpoint. And I like that one. What's his name? Shrike or something. That guy stuck with me like ever since I saw that movie. I've only seen it the one time in theaters for like Christmas or whatever. But I love that dude. He was awesome. The like robot guy who used to protect the main character, but then like, I don't know, something. Anyway, it's been a while since I saw it. But with that movie, things are moving at such a brisk pace, it's hard to keep up. And with this movie, like I said, the first hour, it's like it's not slow, but it is like a build-up, and it's like paced really well. But as soon as that first hour is done, you can like feel when the movie shifts almost, and it's just like one thing after. It's like bang, 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 and that's gonna bother a lot of people, and especially with like some of the stuff in this movie and some of the stuff that's revealed, it's going to come off, it does come off as silly, you know, sometimes stupid as well, to be honest. There were people in the theater who were laughing, especially in that last, like, I would say 20-ish minutes, and, you know, that's never good. Me personally, I dug it. I kind of thought the laughter was like a little you know, like not earned, because the movie is like well made. The actors are all good. It's just really like, it's just that pace is quick, and I can already tell that if it had a longer runtime, it would kind of fix a lot of that stuff. Like, you'd get a lot more characterization with the characters, you get more time to pace out those reveals, all that stuff. And I feel like the book might have a better pace, right? If I read the book and it turns out that all the reveals are in that one last chapter or something, then I'll be like, oh, okay, well then the problem like lies with the source material. But overall, Ishana Shyamalan should be proud of this directorial debut. I think this is very good. It's not as strong a debut as, like, well, then again, like, mainstream debut for M. Night Shyamalan was The Sixth Sense, but he had other movies before that weren't as good as The Sixth Sense. So, I mean, I think she'll get there. I really do. And I'm excited to see anything that she releases from now on. I'm excited to see Trap. And, like, it's called Trap, right? It's not Trapped. It's Trap. Anyway, with Josh Hartnett, M. Night Shyamalan's movie in a month. The fact that I get, two films from the Shyamalans within a month of each other, that's pretty dope. So I'm gonna have to give The Watchers 2.5 stars out of 5, and I really liked it, like I said, but I just think it could have been better, and I do think it should have been longer. I know a lot of people these days will hear, like, oh, you think it needs to be like over 2 hours or whatever. I'm not necessarily saying that. I just do think that, like, some of this stuff needed more time to gestate, and everything, in my opinion. I know a lot of people nowadays, they complain that movies are too long. I honestly disagree. Sometimes I'll watch a movie, I don't think they're long enough. And this is the case. But anyway, guys, that's my review for The Watchers, a film that I really dug a lot. I'm excited to see anything else from Ishana Shyamalan. And by the way, if you would like to watch this review unedited, I do highlight all of my VODs over on twitch.tv/thedastardLeebatman, or you can wait 1 week for it to be over on my other channel, Blended Caramel. And I will actually be back with movie reviews with Hitman, starring Glenn Powell, directed by Richard Linklater. Very excited to see that. That will be posted up on Monday. I'm actually going to wake up early in the morning on Friday and probably go get a haircut and shower, watch that, do a little bit of work, and then we're going to stream my reactions to Summer Games Fest and stuff. And I'll also have a new gameplay playthrough for a little game called Unspoken that scared the crap out of me. He didn't do shit. I kind of feel bad. That'll be up on Saturday at 10 in the morning. I think 10 a.m. is when Central Time is when I'm going to be posting all my videos from now on, whenever I post them. I try to do at least one a day, to the best of my ability anyway. I try to take off Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes I have videos for Saturday or Sunday. But anyway. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, please like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. And also, please subscribe. I'm almost to 50 subscribers, and every subscription helps. And every subscribe to the channel helps. So, my name is Lee, and I do movie reviews. I play video games. I do first impressions on things, and I do goofy voices sometimes while I'm playing video games. So if that all sounds cool to you, please come back, watch some more videos. Alright, guys, have a good night, or have a good day, whatever time you're watching this. And yeah, I will be back with more movie reviews. Bye. I gotta get better at my outros.